Welcome to DETOX Living, where we bring you tips, truths, and testimonials to power your toxic-free living. All right. I'm your host, Coach Gessie, fibroid survivor, just showed you my scar, turned health activist and founder of the DetoxNow.com, a holistic health platform, provider of education and supplements to help you combat the health disparities, the education and health disparities that lead to things like obesity, chronic disease, reproductive health issues, lower life expectancy rates, and more. Without further ado, I'm excited to have Sasha. Girl, I'm looking for my tissue right now because I'm already holding it together. Hey, gorgeous.
Hi, Coach Gessie.
Woo, girl, fire.
How are you?
Oh, I am beyond blessed to be having this conversation with you.
You know, I feel the same, but I'm nervous.
I know. And you know what? I want to honor that and talk through it with you because I know that you're speaking for so many women right now. And I want to help allay your fears together, because this right here is a safe.
Growing up already.
I know. I just said the same thing. I'm choking up already. But this is a safe space. It's a safe space, and we're gonna get it through it together. So I'm gonna we're gonna start off and say, Sasha, how we met. We're gonna start there because some people don't know your whole story. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I'm just sitting here mesmerized by this Black girl magic I'm just witnessing right now.
Yes. So, oh my goodness, it must have been 2015, 2016, maybe.
It was the end of 15.
Okay.
It was
2015, end of 15.
November, because I remember exactly where I was. I was
Okay. And I had gone to the doctor, and you know, I knew I had fibroids at that time, and I was just looking to see what my options were. And the doctor was just like, well, you know, you need to have a myomectomy, and the only way to do that for you is going to be a vertical scar. I'm going to have to cut you straight down the middle. And she was just also saying, and you may be able to have children, but you may not ever be able to have children. And it was just really, really cold and really kind of callous. And I was like, oh, I felt hopeless, I think, in that moment. And I was like, well, I guess I have to do it. This is something I really need to do, right? Like, I don't want to not do it. I need to address it. And so I scheduled the surgery. And I remember laying on the side of my bed. Every time I tell the story, I cry.
I know.
I was laying on the side of my bed. It was like 2:00 in the morning. If you know me, I'm in bed by 10 o'clock. I am not a night owl at all. But it was 2:00 in the morning, and I was just thinking, I do not want to have this surgery, but I don't have any other options. And I don't know what to do. And my homegirl, Janelle, shout out to Janelle.
Shout out to
Janelle. She was in New York, and it must have, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. It must have been 4:00 in the morning. Now, Janelle is a night owl.
All right, Janelle, we appreciate you.
Janelle is a night owl, and she was up, and I shared my journey and my story with her. She and I met in college doing semester at sea, and I was in a fetal position on the side of my bed crying because I just didn't know what to do. And I get a ping on Instagram from her, or either it was a text message, I can't remember. And she said, hey, Sasha, I just found this lady on Instagram, Coach Gessie. She works with women with fibroids. You should check her out and see like how she can help you. And I remember, oh my goodness, like what are the odds that she would send me something at this time in the morning, in this very moment where I'm laying on the floor crying my eyeballs out? Because the other thing that the doctor told me was, if you do ever get pregnant by some miracle with fibroids, the fibroids are too big and too strong. They would just suck the life from your baby, and your baby would die.
My God. My God.
And it was just very cold and very callous,
Yeah.
and not something you want to hear at all.
Right.
And so when I got that message from Janelle, I sent you an email, I think it was, or a message
No,
on Instagram.
DM.
A
DM.
DM.
It was
I
D. I
slid in
remember
the
because
DMs.
I was new to the whole Instagram thing, child.
I slid in your DMs, but I remember, again, still and like feeling hopeless, thinking, by the time you see this message, it's probably gonna be too late, because I will likely already have had surgery, because I think it was the weekend or some, I can't remember the timeline exactly. But I was like, it's in the middle of the morning. She's not gonna respond to me. Like, I'm a random person in her DM. She doesn't know me from Paul or Paulette or whoever. But when I woke up the next morning, you had responded, and I was so shocked, and you said, cancel your surgery, there's hope. And then from there we scheduled a time and like started with the program.
And you know, Sasha, for me, you know, people don't know, but I had my own fibroid hell, and I was really pushed into this work because my story went viral in essence, and it became this beacon of hope
Mm-hmm.
to others. And I had like, all I knew is, if you are feeling like this, it can't be right.
Right.
Right? There has to be something else. There has to be other options for you, right? And all I knew is I needed to talk to you. And I was out of the country. My spiritual father had passed away, and it was the anniversary. We were with the family together, and I remember it very vividly. And I remember seeing your message, and you know, after we spoke, I said, "Oh my God, this is what I it literally was God's confirmation that this is what I was supposed to be doing."
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was so pivotal in my life, because I was like, felt purposeless. Like, God, what is this? What does my story have to do with what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, I thought my fibroids journey was just my personal hell. Okay. That's why I'm so honored to have this space with you, because my personal hell, I had nobody to talk to. I had nobody to counsel me, to direct me, nothing. I had no support, other than I had the support of family who was there with me in the hell, but nothing to help me with solutions. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was coming out of that, and really in a place of transition, like, what am I supposed to be doing? And when you said, wait a minute, this is what I need, I said, wait a minute, if she needs this, then someone else needs it too,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that precipitated, you know, at that time I started working with Dr. Amun, and we started, you know, working through the program in terms of what was then Hope Beyond Fibroids, and now it's become Balance, and it really was around working with nutrition planning, you know, tackling estrogen dominance.
Mm-hmm.
But you were 25 when you came, and you had already advanced fibroid disease, Sasha.
Yeah, I did.
You had a 25 centimeter, excuse me. You had a 25-centimeter fibroid. And the truth is, it was very advanced, and but nobody would tackle it in a minimally invasive way, right? And that is, for me, was like, wait a minute, why is, like, there's got to be something other than her having a vertical incision that's going to affect her in terms of the scarring for the rest of her life. I showed them my scar before you came on to let them know there's a lot that's connected to that scar, and how invasive it was, and also, or hysterectomy, which is like, it was just like, there's got to be more, right? And then you started taking the supplements and the nutrition plan, and you did the fast, and you started, you know, you share what did you start experiencing?
My fibroids started shrinking. But, and I will tell, and I'll be honest, the program it's hard, y'all. Like, your girl love a chicken wing. Okay, let's be very
a chicken wing, a cocktail, not so much a mocktail, more than a cocktail.
And so it was an elimination of all of those things that are just a part of our life, the way that we live, and the way that you've known to eat from 1 or 2 years old, whenever you're able to eat table food, maybe even younger than that. And so unlearning those things and not eating that way anymore was a real challenge for me. And I was able to stick to it pretty hardcore for about 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody is asking for details about the diet. I mean, it was all plant-based. If it didn't come out of the earth, I did not consume it based on, this was the direction I got from you all. I mean, I wasn't even eating spinach because spinach was estrogenic. There were certain fruits and certain vegetables I could eat, and certain things I could not eat.
Let's be clear, the food list has evolved over time.
Yes.
Research has exposed. So let's be
it
clear.
has.
Don't hit me in the DM saying what's wrong with spinach now. We're eating organic spinach, so please.
I was growing with the program because these supplements have changed
yes,
too.
You did.
Baby.
Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. And I remember receiving text messages from you like, oh my God, I wasn't able to wear it. Please share that story. Remember when you sent me that dress, yellow dress?
Yes, there was, I believe it was a dress, or I think it was like pants that I couldn't, I couldn't close over my stomach.
Yes.
Before the fibroid, but not before the program. And when I did the program and I stuck on it for about 18 months, there was a gap, probably about maybe 2 inches between like my stomach and the front of the pants. And so what that said to me was, because I don't have a lot of fat on my stomach. Like I never had.
This wasn't weight loss because she was very toned and her rest of her body was all very tight.
The girls they call it snatched.
Yes, she was snatched. Okay. Yes. She just had literally the fibroid. I can attest. I can attest for certain.
Yeah, and you can feel it. It was very hard. And I could feel it in my body, in my movements, in the way, just in the way that my clothes fit and all the things. I mean, at one point it was hard for me to tie my shoe. I've never been pregnant, but if you have been pregnant, what that feels like, just to have that challenge. And so going through the program, we did see that, but also I learned that a lot of my fibroids, the majority of them were on the outside of my uterus.
Right.
And so according to my doctor, my MD, there's no exit point for those. So perhaps the ones that were shrinking were the ones in the inside, and then they were pushing back. I don't know. That's just my theory. But
so the other thing which I don't know about that part, about it not having an exit point. However, but I do know this: we hit a pandemic. You have a lot of travel. Yeah. There was a lot of stress associated with it. And I remember at one point, we talked about how it had shrunk more than 60% in terms of what the MRIs had shown, right? In terms of the size of the fibroids. But when you are looking at one of the key drivers, there's diet, there's nutrition, right? When we look at the actual sources, root causes, stress is a major driver of growth and development of fibroids. As well as, of course, hormone imbalance connected to estrogen dominance, which is connected to diet, the products that we use, as well as vitamin D deficiency, which is huge in the Black community. More than 76% of us are vitamin D deficient because our melanin blocks the absorption of the sun. And most of us don't have an hour a day to spend in the high midday sun in order to actually, increase our vitamin D levels. And most of us are not taking vitamin D supplements, right? So there were a lot of factors that really kind of kept you, it was a start and stop, not a start and stop as in like you weren't working, because you were diligently working towards, but there were the ebbs and flows of life that kept you in this pattern.
Yeah, for sure. That's a perfect way to say it. And you mentioned that I travel a lot for work, and it is especially hard to figure out. And I tried so hard to figure out that balance.
You did so good. You worked so hard. And I want to say this because it's so important to understand, when you have advanced fibroid disease, you're not tackling something while it's very manageable. You're tackling it when it's like a snowball. It is an avalanche, right? You're trying to tackle something that is at an avalanche level, right? And you really, in terms of, we talk about natural healing, and remember, I don't believe in either or. I believe in both. Natural healing is holistic healing, is natural and traditional together, okay? Because when you have something that is ahead of you, it is so far ahead of you, you're making progress, but it's hard to catch up with it because it's so far ahead of you. Okay. So when I say you were killing it, you were like keeping those based on the way life is and what you were dealing with. it would have been snowballing. Like you're like, and you kept it at bay. Like that was, I am amazed at how you kept it at bay in spite of everything you were dealing with. So
Yeah.
you were killing it, Sasha.
Thank you.
You
And
were
I would also
killing it.
add that I believe when I was diagnosed, it was my fibroids were already advanced, which is a point of
Yes, no,
frustration for
that's what I
me.
said from the beginning. It was advanced from the
Yeah,
very
from my
beginning.
diagnosis, and which is frustrating because I was going to like get my annual checkups every year, and at no point nobody told me that I had
That's
fibroids, like at all.
crazy.
Nobody. By the time that I knew I had fibroids, I mean, my smallest one was the size of a melon.
That's
And
crazy.
and that's the reason I went, because I felt it in my stomach and I was like, what is this? And I was not symptomatic in the way
Yes,
that a
that's
lot
right.
of women are.
That's right.
I
No heavy
had no other, I didn't
cycles.
have heavy bleedings. I didn't have a lot of pain or anything of that nature. I just woke up one day and looked pregnant.
And the thing is, as you're having these exams, the doctor's not saying, hey, and this is important for all of our sisters listening. Wait a minute, abnormal growth of your abdomen in that is not, it's in alignment with what's going on in your body. That is something to say, hey, wait a minute, you pay attention to this. Okay. Meaning telling you, if that doctor's not listening, like, I'm so glad that you continue to push for and advocate for yourself, because that's a huge thing, like people trying to dismiss what for them is not a big issue, but it is, because that's why I say, no, let's stop it before it becomes advanced. Right? You came to the table, you're sitting here having your annuals, you're getting regularly checked, and nobody's telling you something's going on, so that was huge. And the thing, because I want to speak to, you said you were afraid and you felt very vulnerable around this, because there are women who they may feel like they may feel isolated and ashamed because they look pregnant. Can you speak about that?
Oh gosh. I'm waiting to run into somebody around Phoenix that I read who saw me before I had surgery, and for them to be like, "Oh, you had the baby!" Like, I'm waiting for that to happen. I was just at Afrotech a couple months ago, and a guy that I met the previous year was like, "Oh my gosh, like, congratulations, you're expecting!" And I didn't have the energy. It just, what do you say? Because they really don't mean harm, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not malicious intent or
Yeah.
anything. Folks are excited because they think that you are about to start a new chapter in your life. And not only are you not about to start a new chapter in your life, you're going through something that's really seriously medically,
Traumatizing.
and you don't know if you can successfully carry at that time.
Right.
If you want to have children, not everybody want to have children, but if you want to. So it's very, for me, it was just very humiliating. And I have the role that I have is a very forward role. Like, I am speaking to
You're on
customers. I
stages,
am
girl. You're killing
I'm
it
on
on
stages.
stages. You
Yes.
are a speaker.
Yes, I am a professional speaker, and I am talking to a lot of people, which I'm standing in front of people constantly. And I'll never forget being backstage one time, and this lady, right before I'm going on the stage, and they're calling my name, and she's like, "Oh," running over to me, "Oh my gosh, I did not know you were expecting him." And the moment she says that, the announcer's calling my name. So I'm going on stage with all these emotions, trying to remember the message that I'm supposed to be on stage telling, but I'm also just hearing her voice in my head and thinking all 1,500 of these people in the audience probably think the same thing, like, "Oh, when is this girl having her baby?" And wow. I mean, I've heard it so many times, so many places. I can't tell you how many bathrooms I've cried in. Like, it's just been a journey. So, but that part of the journey is done.
Yeah, it is.
It's done.
But for a sister who's there now,
yeah,
we just want you to know that we see you.
And we understand that weight that you're carrying.
Yes. And
it's hard. And you may feel like you probably feel there. For me, there was so much uncertainty around what should I do. Right?
Yes.
Because historically, there has not been a good option.
Yes.
For women like us. There just has not been a lot of care around Black women's womb health. There's just not, right? And so you feel stuck. You feel hopeless. Like, what do I do? How do I fix this? Which is why so many of us, you know, we try to just do whatever we can, and then sometimes you get frustrated. I've been frustrated so many times. You and I've had conversation. I'm like, you know, what do you do? And then there's so many stressors of life that's just happening. And
that's the thing. It's like, I go back to you know, this whole time, Sasha, you were a warrior, because you were not like, let's be clear, because I want to just call out some things that I've heard people say. Well, how could you let your belly get so big? Number one, she was actually, and whoever else is dealing with this, working towards her healing actively. What she wasn't going to let someone tell her they were going to take away her fertility and give her long-term ramifications just because they didn't have a better option. Okay? So how about, let's first of all, bomb number one, say, how strong and amazing and incredible are you that you advocated for yourself and you said, no, I'm not going to do that. No, what I'm not going to do is let you tell me that 33, and you were 25 when you started, right? That you're going to tell me that you're going to take my fertility at 25 years old. What we're not going to do is have you tell me that and have you do a permanent harm to my body, right? How powerful is that you said, let me tell you, remember I had a brain aneurysm in 2020. I had a doctor say to me, oh, sure, go home, because you're talking about Black women in healthcare, right? Go home, you have a significant aneurysm, but go home, and then I can fit you in my schedule in 8 days. I had to tell him, what you're not going to do is send me home to die, because I'm not going anywhere, right? So what you had to say was, no, this right here, it doesn't feel right. This here is not the solution. And you weren't not doing anything. You were taking the supplements. You were doing the nutrition plan. You were, you know, working on your stressors. That is how you were able to keep them. They were advanced. You were able to keep them from becoming even more massive. Like, kudos to you. I'm literally like, round of applause. I'm giving you all your flowers. All right. I'm giving you all the love, because you are a warrior and you were doing the work. Okay. You were doing the work.
Thank you.
So that's number one. Number two is, you know, I love that you named it and you said, I was getting my exams every year. And people, yes, give her the love, y'all. Give it a hand clap. Thank you. Yup. You see them come, you see the flowers. You see them showing you love. I told her this is a safe space. This is a big hug, girl. We are holding you up.
Thanks, y'all.
Yes, we are holding you up, giving you the love, because you were doing the work. You were doing the work. You were advocating for yourself. And there are so many women who put their head in the sand because of fear. You didn't do that. You didn't put your head in the sand because of fear, right? You actually were actively working towards it. And it's crazy, because you know me. I have been, you know, actively looking for better and better solutions all the time, all the time, right? And earlier this year, I announced that I had a partnership with Dr. P, right? Known as the Fibroid Slayer, Dr. P 23. And when I said you hadn't even hit me yet, I was like, you were on my list, because I was like, listen, advanced, but advanced doesn't mean that you have to be permanently damaged. That is why I say hysterectomy is not the only option. Vertical incisions are not the only option. It's because there are people that are skilled enough, right? Return of fibroids is not the only option, right? So let's move to that part of the story.
Yes, and I will say, before we go there, ladies, trust your gut. Like, trust that energy that God, the creator, whatever you believe in is giving you, whatever you're feeling is right. Because I was talking to another GYN about my surgery, and he was like, yeah, I can, it's not a problem, I can do it. And my gut was like, do not, just, he's not the right one.
See that?
And that was, it was right. Like, I spoke to another doctor who worked on women with advanced fibroid, and she said, whatever you do not let this doctor do your surgery, because he does not have the skill set. And so
See that?
trust the, and I felt like, I literally felt it in his office, that energy. But he's a doctor, right? And we that may go through your head. Oh, but they're a doctor, they're this. No, like, God gave you that energy for a reason. It is your power, it is yours, it is your body. So believe that whatever, energy, spirit that you're feeling that's telling you something's off, if it's telling you something's off, something's wrong. So no, I didn't do him. I ended up going with Dr. Johnson. Thank Dr. P, Dr. Johnson, that you introduced me to. And one of the best decisions in my life.
I knew it was time, because here's the deal. What I loved, I said, how amazing, Sasha, that you navigated and you held on for the right solution.
Yeah.
Right? The right solution for you, right? Because I was like, no, this right here, so that, hey, you know what? We don't have to give up to a vertical incision. We don't have to give in to hysterectomy. No way, no how, no day, right? We can accelerate the process because your situation was advanced and we knew we needed intervention, right? And have a victory like this, have a
I'm out here looking snatched, y'all.
Yeah, girl.
Catch me outside all summer 2024.
We gonna be like, put some clothes on, Sasha.
And I ain't gonna do it.
But I actually wanted to talk about something you just said. When you said, listen to the inner voice. That's really what you're saying. Listen to your gut, because there are, when I always say, when you go to the physician, remember there are two experts in the room. There's the expert the doctor who's supposed to be the expert in their field, but there's you who's the expert on your body. Okay.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever work with someone who dismisses the value and the weight of your voice. Okay.
Yeah, that's real.
Never.
Yeah.
So when your voice is saying, something's not right, something's not right, keep it moving. Let's go. Gotta go. Gotta go if it's not right. So again, here you were navigating it by saying, all right, you know what? This is not it. So we said, I remember I said, listen, we got to this is it. Trust me. Because you were like, I said, Sasha, trust. If I was to get on a table, because I've never publicly partnered with a surgeon. I was like, this
right here. Yeah. Yeah.
Said, you better know, if it was my own sister, I'd be going with her on that table over there in Chicago, right? So let's talk about
because the other doctor, he wanted me to get a UAE embolization.
Uterine art. Oh, girl, listen. Dr. P and I, we did a live a few weeks ago. It's on my YouTube, the youtube.com/Coach Gessie. We broke that down. There's a clip about it in my feed. Listen, the UAE, not gonna say it doesn't work for everybody. I've had it. Fibroids came back aggressively. Like that was the fact that someone would even say that to you with the size of fibroid you had. Do you know, cutting off blood supply to fibroids that size, what kind of complications and pain you could have been in?
And that's exactly what the radiologist who would have performed the surgery, he said, I honestly don't even know why they would recommend this. I wouldn't do this. I could do it, but I wouldn't do this to you. You would be in excruciating pain. It would not be very effective in your case, right? This is talking about my case specifically. Right. He was like, if you were my sister, I would tell you not to do this. And I do these all day. So yeah. Just, you have to be careful, because it was my GYN, the same one who wanted to do the surgery, who recommended that I do the embolization.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. But again, This is why I remember we hopped on that. We did we did our consult. I was like, all right, Sasha, listen. So you did a consult with Dr. P after I said this is the one.
Yep.
This is it. This is the
Yep.
game changer,
I
right? You already know what to do.
I researched the hell out of Dr. P.
Yes, you did, because you were like, Coach Gessie, I know I trust you, but because don't do it just because I said
Yeah.
it. Research, and you got to know for yourself,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Research
You.
and hopped on a consult with him, and he was just knowledgeable. He was
Yep,
patient.
very.
He knew exactly what the answers to the questions that I was asking. He set proper expectations for me, and he calmed my nerves, because I mean, you're talking, I was dealing with this for a decade.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot to, I've heard this all for 10 years, that it can't be done this way, and that
That's
I need
right.
a hysterectomy.
That's
And
right.
he was saying, you absolutely do not need a hysterectomy.
Absolutely not.
You absolutely do not need a vertical
That's
incision.
right. Absolutely not.
You can't even see, you can barely see my scar.
Barely.
today.
His work is beautiful.
It's like this long.
And here's the deal. Here's the key thing, right? Because, understanding that you're working with someone who's committed to do the work, but then also has the skill set to do it, right? And then on top of that is very intentional about minimalizing scar tissue, right? Because your body's going to create the scar tissue. It's part of the healing process. There's nothing you can do about that. It's going to do it. But that scar tissue can grow radically to the point where abnormal growth can cause small bowel obstruction complications that can lead to, fatalities, more complications. I've had many of them. And my key thing for you was I knew we had the tools to help you on the back end and on the front end. I knew that you had the nutrition plan and the supplements to help keep them from coming back and to help prevent the complications. So I felt like you had everything you needed to have the best outcome.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
I truly feel that way as well. I mean, there were nerves. There are always nerves when you're going into something like this. But I felt like the time was right. And you and I talked about this. Mm-hmm. The time was right. I was educated enough on what was going on. I was at the point where I was like, okay, I'm literally just tired of carrying this weight. And I didn't know how much it weighed at the time. I just knew that, this is just it's a lot, right? I'm having a lot of symptoms, and I started to become more symptomatic,
right,
as the fibroids with time going on. Exactly. And so the front end, the back end, the surgery, it all just seemed like it worked together perfectly. Like it was my time. It was the right people. And let me just tell y'all, Dr. P's, all three of his surgeons are Black. They care for me. I experienced a level of care in Chicago that I have never, ever in my life received. From the time I walked into that hospital, from the first phlebotomist who did my blood work, right? Like I've heard people in Phoenix tell me they're having a hard time getting my blood because my skin is dark, right? And they can't, yes. Oh, yes. Right? Like they can't see it and all these things. And so like his team, like, I mean, everybody, the level of care and professionalism, and Dr. P just makes you feel like I got it. He's like, listen, don't nothing happen without my sign off. I'm good. You gonna be good. So let's rock.
And got the skills to back it up.
Has
not just like that person who said to you, "Oh, I do this all the time." No, we got the receipts, right? We've got the receipts. So tell me about beforehand. In terms of your protocol, did you do the nutrition and the supplements beforehand? Yep. Since then, how have you been feeling? How has your healing? Because you're only is this your 4th week?
4 weeks yesterday.
Okay, so let me explain to y'all. First of all, this is how I know this is real healing of integration. Okay, when I was 4 weeks, I was still in so much pain. 4 weeks post my surgery, that I couldn't be doing this like you. When I was that's your body it's inclined to heal because of the way you've been taking care of it, preparing. When I say to y'all, this works because it helps your body, anti-inflammatory, to set yourself up in terms of so that you heal better going into the surgery and then out of the surgery. Okay.
Yeah.
Because child, please. That I can't even tell you.
Wow.
The pain was ridiculous
Mm,
for a very long time, right?
really?
Yes. So I'm telling you, this right here is all the glory. You don't understand.
I'm grateful.
You don't
Because I'm gonna tell
understand.
y'all, I'm gonna just tell y'all, okay, we friends, we families here right now. Jamaican, becoming James, we cousins. The real pain that I had from the surgery wasn't from, it didn't feel like it was from the surgery per se, it was just gas.
Yes. Oh,
Like that's the
yeah,
pain that
that's the
I
real
had.
pain from being cut open because
Yes.
it was a long, what happens is your body is, first of all, there's when it's cut open, air is getting in it, but it's also your body is now no longer has those masses. So now it's got all of that space that it's now so that is like the worst pain.
Yeah.
But that and again, because of how everything it's not the one, it's everything you've been doing. I just rejoice
Yeah.
that I know this partnership gave you life, that this partnership with Dr. P gave you life. Do you understand how much joy that brings me, Sashi Poo? Do
I'm
you
happy.
do you understand?
No, I'm happy. Like y'all have changed my life. I was taking the supplements before, making sure I'm keeping my iron as it
Yep.
should be.
Yep.
Um, half a gallon of water a day is
Mm-hmm.
what he wanted me to drink. Making sure I was getting
Yep.
protein was another thing that he
Mm-hmm.
said. And then going into the surgery, I don't think there was anything else that I needed to do going into the surgery except for, the water, the supplements,
Mm-hmm.
the protein. And then after it was drinking, I lost a lot of blood during the surgery.
Yes.
Um,
Because it was a long
and
surgery. It
it was
was
five
because
and a
you had to
half
take time.
hours.
Mm-hmm.
5.5 hours, 13 fibroids removed. No, 13 pounds of fibroids
13
removed.
pounds, much
13
more.
pounds. Yes.
He had to break it up, so we don't know the actual. I don't
Yeah,
know
he
the
had
actual number,
to break
right?
one. Yeah,
He had to
but
break the
my
large
mom
one up.
said it looked like a turkey. My mother has the video. She been watching.
Yeah,
I can't watch the videos yet, but like she says, it looked like a turkey, the size of a turkey, one of them. And yes, he had to cut them in different pieces to
yeah.
get it
In
out. But
order to get it out,
yeah.
I'm just trying to look up to see if he has the number listed in his because I'm looking it up. But the point is that now, and here is the beauty. Here's the beauty, right? Now you know what to do to keep them from coming back because
Yes.
you know how to tackle them at the root. Now you're not fighting an avalanche. You're navigating life as
Mm-hmm.
through with healing as your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to be perfect. No. It's you are equipped with the tools, you're equipped with the hormonal balance supplement, which is the key things in the prevention kit is the mass, which is the anti-inflammatory,
Got that.
right? Is to work on that. Look, she said, "Hello, Matt. Let me get my mass, right,
Mm-hmm.
for controlled levels of inflammation." The D3,
Mm-hmm.
which helps to fight inflammation and tumor, and the balance, right? And then, of course, because you are rebuilding your iron, you're
Oh
going to
yeah.
keep taking iron now because you're rebuilding it after the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Those three things, and just managing your stress levels, and your just overall nutrition. Those that's it, babe.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. Changing, making sure that you're using clean beauty, clean products. And I'm always recommending and sharing those things as I find them because you want to make sure that whatever you put on your skin and your hair that is not disrupting your hormones.
Mm-hmm.
um
Yeah.
but girl, it's gonna be
And make sure you get you a good partner too.
yeah.
If you Let me tell you something. If you with a man or a woman or whoever, a person, individual, are they causing you stress? Let
That's why I said
they ass go
stress.
immediately because that shit will make your fibroids grow also.
No, it will grow, it will create them and grow them. It is the number one root cause and driver is stress.
So say no to fuck boys and fuck women and fuck people
Say no to
out here causing
toxic,
fibroids and stuff.
yeah, toxic people. Say no to those toxic people. All right.
Yeah.
And get people around you like are in this chat right here that
Yeah.
support you, love you, are incredibly proud of you. Somebody says, do you want no longer take the fibroid supplements after surgery? So the supplements that I just recommend to her, because her fibroids are gone, those are the only 3 I recommend, unless she has, and as well as the iron, I said, because she's rebuilding her blood count, right? So the balance, for hormonal balance, these 3 things are key to not only helping to your body fight the return of fibroids, because she doesn't have fibroids now. Understand?
I don't.
Right. Fibroid free. We said, listen, it's gonna be for real, right?
Yeah.
Huge. You came and you, girl, I'm gonna call you David, because you slew a giant. You see what I'm saying? Hey,
I
yeah,
receive
girl.
it.
Girl, that Davita might need to be the name of your baby, because you slew a giant, and you did it. You did it in the right time and in the right way, so that you can have the long-term solution. And I just want to end there, right? Because the long-term solution is really important.
Yeah.
You fought and held on, and you did everything you could holistically and naturally until you got the right support surgically.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you had done the surgeries that did not align with what you knew you wanted for your long-term health, I didn't have these options. I deal with long-term complications every day, Sasha. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Okay. And I know one thing, I don't want that for you. Okay. I am a miracle. I am a miracle every day.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to have to be that miraculous. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you're like, until it's right, Now here's the deal. If you're in a scenario where you're literally hemorrhaging to death and they need to do it to save your life, you're going to get your life saved, and we're going to move on and do whatever we need to help you heal afterwards. Okay, let's be clear.
Yeah.
I don't want you standing in some corner and saying, until they could do it in a pretty way, I'll bleed to death. No, that's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
She was doing everything she could to keep her health in a positive way, right? Tackling them holistically, keeping them at bay, keeping them from growing while she could through the end fibers, through the balance program, through our holistic plan. But we knew that she needed something to come now aggressively and deal with the advanced fibroid disease, which were the massive fibroids that she started with. So let's make sure you know that.
Yes. And your journey will look different from mine, and that's okay. Yeah. There's not one formula that's going to fit every single person, and that's not what we're here to tell you. We're just here to let you know there are options. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to feel hopeless, right? Because there's hope. There's options out there for you. So that's
absolutely. So, and that's what I was going to ask you. If you are talking to a woman who's going through like you, that is what I think you would have said to her. Is there something else you would have said to her?
Girl, you fine with your chocolate self, purr.
Purr. That's right. You are gorgeous.
Yeah, and just love you, every version of you, and all of you, right? Because that's a part. Having fibroids is a part of my story, and yes, I'm laughing at my own girl. Yes, it requires a lot of vulnerability, and it's hard for me to talk about and share sometimes, but it's a part of your journey. It's a part of my journey. And if you have fibroids, it's a part of your journey as well.
And you have options. You have support. I think that was the biggest thing for me, is like, you have support, because it's not a one size fits all. That's why our team works to help you find. That's why we have partners around the world to help you find the right solution, whether it's, okay, you know what's right for you. That's the thing. Finding what was right for you is the right solution. That's what we work to do. It's not to give you this is what you need to do because everybody's doing it, right?
Yeah. And
that's where I think I want, to end, and just to say, I'm incredibly proud of you. I'm honored to just be a part of your story. Like, seriously, your bravery and your courage and your advocacy for yourself. This is what I want everyone to have, is to say, you know what? I'm not alone. I deserve the best care. I'm going to get the support that I need to help me find the best care, to help me find solutions, you know, to help me find what's out there, because not everybody does.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows. Not everybody,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. And I would love to say to any ladies watching live or the recorded version, if you have questions, feel free to slide in my DMs, because I slid in Coach Jessie's. Even if I don't get to you immediately, I promise I will respond to you at
I
some point. Do not feel
love
like
it.
that you're alone in this.
I love it. I love it. And the last thing I would say is, if you're dealing with a distended abdomen, you're dealing with heavy periods, you're dealing with irregular cycles, painful periods, I want us to have these conversations early so that we don't normalize what becomes advanced, any disease, right? That's what I want us to have the information and be equipped with, wait a minute, I want to be able to tackle it while it's a process. And, you know, I don't want to have surgery if I don't need to. Absolutely not. Let's be clear.
Right.
I don't ever want to get there. I said to my husband, he said something about this morning. This is a funny story. He was ragging on me, telling me some, I don't know how to make a bed because I don't use hospital corners. I said, no, I don't want to see nothing hospital affiliated ever again in my life.
Nothing.
Ever. I don't even want to spell hospital. You know what I'm saying?
We can avoid it.
Yeah. So prevention, that is what, and the same three things that I talked about: hormonal imbalance, vitamin D deficiency, and chronic inflammation. Those are three things that lead to the development of fibroids, but then also the development of things like diabetes and high blood pressure and other autoimmune issues and cancer and thyroid issues. And there's so much that's connected to those same root issues. In your scenario, what I love is the symptoms, the fibroid is how it manifested, but you worked on tackling the root issue, right? Which was the hormonal imbalance and all those things that we talked about. Because guess what? If you get this, and this is really important, you have surgery and you don't tackle those things, sis, it's going to show up in another way, or the fibroids will come back. Like, that is so important. And what's exciting for me is that you're already on the journey of prevention. It's so exciting for me is that you're equipped with that. I was never equipped with that. So my fibroids kept coming back over and over and over, to the tune of 5 fibroid surgeries, right?
Oh gosh, I don't think I knew that.
Yes. And the reason I have only 3 feet of small intestine and you're born with 20 to 25 is because after I had the second fibroid surgery, it developed the small bowel. Remember, the scar tissue formed an obstruction. And this is why I say don't take surgery lightly, all right? Because anytime you have any kind of surgery, it develops scar tissue to heal, but that scar tissue, because of stress, because of bad diet, because of hormonal imbalance, because of vitamin D deficiency, these things can cause the scar tissue to grow abnormally and now form an obstruction that wraps around your organs, fatally in some people's cases, or causes more damage, where they had to cut out that part of my small intestine over and over and over. You see what I'm saying? So more and more, if you've had fibroid surgery, if you've had a C-section, any kind of abdominal surgery, again, this is why we're equipping you, because I didn't have this knowledge. I didn't have this information. I wish I had a prevention kit when I was going through, so that I wouldn't be dealing with long-term issues for this. Yeah. That is what this is about. Paying it forward so that now your whole victory is a whole different victory. It's not just fibroid free. I had the surgery and I'm fibroid free for 6 months and then stuff is growing back. We ain't having that. We have a victory for real. For good. Hey.
Wait, is that gonna do it for me too?
I don't listen.
Oh, maybe I don't have it on.
Hey, you don't.
I don't think I have it on.
I got it for me and you. How about that? But you see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
That you're not just fibroid free, Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
You're fibroid free for good because you have the tools and the knowledge and the resources to keep them and the things that are at the root of it that can cause other issues at bay. Yeah. Girl, ain't no.
I feel fortunate and blessed.
You are blessed.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you.
And I'm so blessed. And I'm not going to keep us further because I know that you have touched so many lives tonight because you've touched mine. And I said I wasn't going to cry, but I can't tell you how much I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I love you, girl.
Love you. Good night.
All right. Night. So, fam, thank you so much for joining us. If you are dealing with any of these issues, you just need support, we're here. Take our free quiz at thedetoxnow.com, right on the link in my bio. Take our free quiz to get some direction. And then if you need some more guidance, just book a group consult, a free consult, any of our consult options. If you're dealing with advanced fibroid disease, the link to Dr. P is he's in my consult bio as well. So whatever you need, let you know. We're here to support you find the right solution for you. And if you're looking to reset, we're doing this 2024 reset. You good. You done reset right now. I know you're resetting already, which is great. But it's our global fast, y'all. You could do fruit. You could do intermittent. You can do water, whatever it is. But if you're looking for something to reset, check that out. The link in my bio. I love you. Goodbye.